Hey there, friends. Today, we're going to talk about how to duplicate objects in Blender and make them look neat and uniform. For example, when you need to arrange a bunch of cubes around a wheel, create patterns, or make a crazy art installation out of 20 identical pieces. But most importantly, we'll tackle the main pitfall that often stumps beginners: getting the scale wrong, causing everything to fly off in unpredictable ways. Today, I'll show you how to avoid that kind of mishap, so sit back and let's get started. All right, let's start with the basics. Manual copying. Take your base object, for instance, a cube. Press Shift+D to create a copy. Then move it with G, grab. This method works great if you only need a few copies in random places, for example, when you're quickly sketching out cubes in a scene. However, if you want to place 20 cubes evenly so that everything lines up perfectly, it can become a real nightmare. That's why we'll take a look at modifiers next. It's time to dive into the magic called Array. Select your source object. In the Properties panel on the right, open the Modifiers tab. Click Add Modifier, Array. In the Count field, set the number of copies you need. The relative offset parameter determines the distance between copies. A value of 1 means the objects are spaced exactly one object's width apart. Now let's create a ring of our copies using the array plus empty combo. Why an empty? Because it acts as an invisible object, serving as the rotation center for our copies. Press Shift+A, empty, choose plane axis, the easiest to visualize. Place this empty at the center of the scene, or wherever you want your pivot point to be. In the Array modifier of your cube, enable Object Offset. In the Object field, select the newly created empty. Disable Relative Offset so that the copies don't shift along the x-axis and instead follow the empty's rotation. Now select the empty, press R, and rotate it around the z-axis. Let's just shift the empty a bit along the x-axis to give them more space. For an evenly spaced circle, rotate it by 360 degrees divided by the number of objects. Great! All your copies are now arranged in a circle. Please note, if you start adjusting the empty scale, the copies will grow or shrink with it. If you don't want that, leave Scale equals 1 or press Ctrl+A, Apply Scale. The same goes for your main object. If its scale isn't set to 1, apply the scale first to avoid surprises. Awesome! Now that you know how to arrange objects in a perfect circle, let's see what else you can do with these techniques. Here are a few ideas to explore. Make a wheel with 20 spokes. Start by modeling a single spoke, then use Array with an empty to duplicate it in a circle. Create a decorative fence using a linear array. To connect the segments, enable Merge in the modifier settings. There you have it, folks. It's actually quite simple. Now you know how to quickly replicate objects in Blender and create beautiful circles, lines, and patterns without falling into those pesky scale traps or moving each object around by hand. If you have any questions or cool ideas for future tutorials, leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and tell your friends. Thank you for watching. You're the best. See you in the next lesson.